What have been the most significant developments over the last few months?
Over the last period, Anne, I would say the key highlights for us is we're seeing increased purchase orders from a range of infrared, or for a range of infrared quantum dots. Um, we, of course, filed our lawsuit against Samsung for patent infringement. And we've extended our cash runway through to Q2 2021. We'd previously reported exhausting cash at the end of July. Our cash burn has now been reduced to about £400,000 per month, which is significantly down from where it was before. So we've really bought ourselves a lot of time and a lot of optionality.
Why did you take the decision to terminate the formal sales process?
We decided to terminate because the disruption caused by COVID-19 has escalated and impacted ongoing discussions as part of the formal sales process. As you're aware, the economic environment remains really challenging today. And as a result, the board concluded that the FSP would not produce an attractive outcome in the current environment and decided to terminate the process.
Tell us about the status of activity in the sensing segment.
In the sensing segment, we successfully delivered all the milestones were paid by our U.S. customer. At the end of December, when that contract finished, the exclusivity dropped away, allowing us to pursue other opportunities. We've seen a big uptick in interest from other players around the world. We're seeing the value of POs for IRQDs increasing over the recent months. Our sensor technology is highly relevant. The whole area is growing rapidly, especially related to consumer electronics, mobile phones for facial recognition, augmented reality type applications, so world-facing applications on those phones. And then for more industrial applications, anywhere where you have machine-machine interaction, autonomous vehicles, who all benefit from the enhanced sensitivity provided by our IRQD solution.
Please tell us about the status of activity in the display segment.
Well, we believe that our technology is still relevant. We're seeing that QD TVs are growing. Our latest generation of dots are commercially ready. Likewise, our CFQDs, specifically developed for the QD OLED hybrid displays, are being trialed. We are currently negotiating supply contracts for both types of materials. So we're bullish on display.
And please tell us, why is Nanoco suing Samsung? And can you give some metrics to help give an idea of the scale of any potential settlement?
Nanoco is a pioneer in the QD space. We're the leading patent holder with approaching 800 patent applications. We started our relationship with Samsung in 2007, introduced them to cadmium-free quantum dots and the ability to get those materials at scale cost effectively. We worked closely with them for a number of years, understanding the volumes that they were going to need to commercialize this technology. And we made a decision in back end of 2012 and signed a deal with Dow in 2013 for Dow to license our technology to manufacture large quantities, really to supply Samsung. We were really disappointed when Samsung decided to go around us and manufacture directly using our technology. So the reason for suing them is simply that they've infringed our intellectual property. They are utilizing our technology without proper licenses or commercial agreements in place. And the way to rectify that is through the courts. In terms of damages, if you look at the number of TVs they've sold since launch in April 2015, it's been about 14 million QD-enabled TVs. The difference between a Samsung TV with and without a quantum dot film is roughly $1,000, a bit more. And that component costs less than $100. So that's a huge profit bump based on our technology. $14 billion of enhanced profit based on our technology that they've used illegally. We feel we're entitled for a portion of that, and that's the reason we've filed the lawsuit in the Eastern District of Texas, which is patent holder friendly jurisdiction. We're starting in the U.S. and then we will work out across the world because our IP we cover the globe with our IP.
How is Nanoco responding to the COVID-19 pandemic?
I mean, obviously, our number one priority is making sure that any work that we're doing is done safely for staff. So we've significantly increased the use of single-use PPE when we're working in our labs. On top of that, where it's reusable PPE, we're increasing or enhanced the amount of cleaning activities that we're doing for that PPE, and also we've enhanced the amount of cleaning that's actually going on in the work environment themselves. On top of that, we've implemented social distancing in our work environment. So even where people are working in labs, we've managed to relocate some equipment so that people can work on a spaced out basis, or actually even move processes into different labs so that people can work safely at a social distance. For those who aren't required to be working in the lab, and lab work is very much focused on customer demand, customer orders. For those who aren't working in the lab, they're either working remotely from home, as you can see I am, or we do have approximately 2/3 of our staff who are currently furloughed. So the key thing is we're managing to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic while also delivering customer needs and customer requirements.
Please tell us about the cash conservation program and how this is impacting or indeed not impacting the capabilities that you can offer customers.
Cash confirmation, or conservation, not confirmation, sorry, cash conservation actually starts with cash generation. So as we discussed on the results presentation yesterday, we do have a number of near-term opportunities that we're working very hard to get over the finishing line. We are at an advanced stage of documentation on some new services agreements. So if you like, the cash conservation program first starts with actually generating new cash, whether it's from commercial opportunities or potential new licensing deals, or even with existing customers, the potential for prepayments against future orders that are expected in the near term. So that's on the generation side of it. On the cost control side of it, as I've already mentioned, we've got 2/3 of our staff currently furloughed, and we're accessing the government's employment support scheme. We're also working collaboratively with our landlords and a number of our suppliers who have been very helpful in either agreeing to deferrals, payment holidays, reduced fees, or in some cases even offering them up unprompted. So that's been a great response actually from the industrial community just as a whole. Then on top of that, when it comes to cash, obviously the board continues to look at strategic options for medium-term funding. So whether that means looking at debt solutions or accessing some of the grants or loans that the government has announced and that are becoming available, or ultimately it obviously includes the potential at some point to need to have a conversation with shareholders. I should say, though, that at the moment, Nanoco, we suffer from the fate of a number of companies where we seem to fall between the cracks. A number of the loan schemes are designed for unlisted companies. We're a listed company. For some of the schemes, we're too big, and unfortunately, for some of them, we're too small. But we do continue to pursue every avenue that we can, that we identify or that comes up, just to make sure that we've got enough cash in the business. In terms of capability, we think that there's value in all aspects of our business. So that means in terms of the R&D teams, in display, in sensing, in life sciences, in terms of our scale-up capability, and also in our production capability. So we're working very hard to protect all of those capabilities, and also actually to fund all the necessary support activities that go on around those. Without those support activities, none of those revenue generating activities could actually happen. So those are the capabilities that we're currently preserving. On top of that, clearly we want to preserve our core IP assets, all those patents that Michael referenced, but also we need to protect that lawsuit. And the one extra thing we're doing around the lawsuit when it comes to funding is we are in an advanced stage of negotiating third-party funding for the lawsuit. So that lawsuit can be prosecuted without negatively impacting Nanoco's cash base. So at the moment, while it is pared down, in some cases cut to the bone, we are managing to maintain all the capabilities that we think are of value in Nanoco today, both for shareholders going forward and also just strategically, anyone else looking at the company, those are the things that would be valued. By the end of the first half, we'd made a reasonable 12.5% reduction in our monthly cash burn. We got it down from 800,000 to 700,000. Since then, we've had a very significant reduction in that, down to £400,000 per month. What that does is originally we expected that if we'd taken no action, and obviously we always expected to take some action, but if we'd taken no action, our cash would have been exhausted in July this year. By the actions we've taken, accessing some of the support that is available, identifying those savings I mentioned with suppliers, we've managed to push our cash runway out into the second quarter of next year, so second quarter of 2021. Clearly, there are risks and issues that need to be managed between now and then. There will be some tough decisions. There are a lot of contingencies. It does depend on delivering some of the short-term commercial revenue that we talked about. But basically, we're confident that our cash runway will be extended out to the second quarter of 2021, which is a 9, possibly 12-month improvement on where we were only 5 or 6 months ago.